Just how mentally tough are your Golden State Warriors? If tonight taught us anything, it's that this team is winning and they are ready for a playoff run.
Who cares now? Because I'm here, and I would like to think that I am wanted here.
Most importantly, he a dog.
We got 4 championships.
You are Locked On Warriors.
I know Jimmy drinks great wine.
Your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Speculation is just what it is, though.
Your team every day.
All right, I'm unfrozen. For everyone that watched the show last night, thank you to Matt Kolsky for driving the ship in. This is Locked On Warriors. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, if you're a new customer, you can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. My name's Charlie Walter, formerly in 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. That's the flagship for the Golden State Warriors. Also covered the team for CBS News Bay Area. Call letters KPIX. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can check us out on YouTube. We stream live after the games. We also break this thing down wherever you get your audio podcasts. Matt Kolsky joins the program to discuss a 118-104 win for your Golden State Warriors. Denver had won 9 straight over the Dubs. It's the end of a road trip. It's a back-to-back after a late night in LA. And early, it did look like Denver was going to cruise, which I think a lot of Warriors fans kind of expected coming in. You didn't expect to get the best from Golden State. You didn't even know if everyone was going to play. Denver was up 44-34 after 1. Then a light switch went off. And to me, that light switch is that the Warriors realized they're better than the Denver Nuggets. Hell, they're better than the Lakers. They're better than the Grizzlies. They're probably better than the Rockets. Here's the deal. When Draymond Green is playing like this defensively, when Brandin Podziemski has the mid-range working and literally looks like a smaller Manu Ginobili, when Butler is activated, when Curry remains playing like one of the league's MVPs over the last, 50 days, this team's a tough out. They played an impeccable basketball game for 3 quarters. Defensively, offensively, Dub Nation did their part. Place was rowdy. So all I got to say is watch out, Western Conference. Nobody wants to see the Warriors. I promise you that, Kolsky. Nobody wants to see the Warriors right now. Welcome in, my friend.
Yeah, that's a fact. Steph Curry, I just don't think we can overstate how incredible it is what he's doing at his age. I mean, I'm fairly certain people were reporting his demise just a couple of months ago. And this guy is, certainly for a week at the best player in the league. He's unbelievable. There's nothing like watching him. And look, man, there's lots of people to praise, but Steph Curry drove the bus all 3 of these wins, and they are it's certainly the biggest 3-game win streak of the season.
He's been putting on performance after performance. You look at every 10 games he's played since Jimmy Butler has been on the team, 9 of them are vintage Steph Curry performances. To answer Levi, how is Pods a problem? That's a new age way of saying the dude's a star. Or at least played like a star in today's game. Not a problem on the basketball floor, a problem for the opposition. Podziemski had 26, Curry had 36, Butler had 19. Those were your 3 players in double figures. But I want to start with where I think the Warriors won this game, where the game changed. Kerr went to a lineup in the first half of Gee, of Buddy, of Pods, of Post, and Kuminga. And the Nuggets immediately went on a run that ended with Jokic posting up Guy Santos and going behind the back to Russell Westbrook, who lays it in. And I think it was a 12-point game, the largest deficit of the contest for the Warriors at that point. Jimmy comes back in. And quite frankly, I'm in the camp that Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry should never be on the bench at the same time. Never. There's just no reason for it. You got to stagger things. And once Butler came back, the game changed completely. And they didn't have Steph on the floor at that point. Once Steph comes back, it goes from the Warriors creeping back in to really just dominating the rest of the contest. Wasn't really close. Never felt like the Warriors were truly tested. They just kicked Denver's ass, man. That's a big win.
Yeah. Big win in the standings, big win from a confidence perspective. Denver doesn't have Jamal Murray, but nevertheless, they really did a job on Jokic tonight. I mean, it's incredible how good that guy is. That 33, 12, and 9 is a good defensive performance against him. But I mean, he had some incredible scoring moves tonight. Not something you ordinarily see from Jokic quite as much as I think you did this evening. Although he had 60 the other day, but he turned it over 6 times. He did not look comfortable. I really thought, just top to bottom defensively, this was one of their great performances. And Brandin Podziemski, I don't know how consistently he can do what he's done the last couple games, but my goodness, it's not just knocking down threes. Like you said, he's getting to the mid-range. He's got a pull-up jumper working. He's still playing tough defense. You absolutely love what you're seeing from him.
Can you imagine if this is him? If this is just who Brandin Podziemski is moving forward?
That's what I was going to say. A couple people in the chat are asking, like, is this the pods we're going to see from now on? And I'm not quite ready to go there. But, I mean, what he's doing, look, he's not going to, what was he tonight? He's not going to be 10 of 16, 4 of 8 from 3 every night. I mean, that's just, nobody does that. But it's not like he's doing anything way outside of his comfort zone. He's doing all pods things. He's just doing them all at once and at a really high level, man. He is fun to watch too. This is such an incredibly fun team right now. They're unselfish. They got different guys who can hurt you in different ways. I'm loving it.
Yeah, X Factor, pods. That's what he's becoming right now. The mid-range was so good today. I mean, he was automatic from 10 feet, and he consistently gets that shot. And not only that, he has the floater to his game. We saw him at one point. He was so damn confident. He banked one off the window. Just a little runner, a little game of horse. Banks it right off the window. The defense is pretty tough. The confidence seems sky high. And if you double team Steph right now, somehow, some way, somebody is going to swing it to Podziemski, and he's damn near automatic. I mean, he's hit as many threes as anyone in the NBA not named Jordan Poole since March 18th. He has been a sharpshooter. And that's what I said going into the season when Kerr and Dunleavy and Lacob and everyone was saying he's got all-star written in him. This is someone that we believe can shoot 8 to 10 3-pointers a game, that can be that second scorer that everyone was talking about all offseason. And early on, it did not look to be that way whatsoever. But when you see back-to-back 28 and 26, you see the efficiency of 10 of 16 from the floor, 4 of 8 from 3, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a couple of steals, a plus 11. At some point, the numbers don't lie. Now, he has to do this consistently. They're going to need this pods in the playoffs. But if you get this pods in the playoffs with everyone else playing to their capabilities, and of course, the X factor truly is Steph Curry. Like, if you're getting this Steph where he's hitting 7 threes day in and day out, you're a tough match for anyone in the NBA, regardless of what pods is doing. But you add pods into the fold playing like this, and it's hard to look at a team in the Western Conference, even those daunting Oklahoma City Thunder, and say that you don't think the Warriors have a shot against them.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Thunder still have to be your overwhelming favorites, but
I'm putting in a future right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm going to get you the odds as we do this show, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I saw enough from Steph in this past month to look. I'm slapping a saddle on it. I'm riding it to the county fair. I think the Warriors are the team to beat in the West. Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, it's and not just crazy, but factually untrue, because very clearly the Oklahoma City Thunder are the team to beat in the West. Now, listen.
So when we say 20-2 with Butler and Curry on the floor, the new rendition of the Golden State Warriors, that doesn't mean anything to you?
It means
just
a ton to me. Charlie, you can't badger me into taking one of your reactionary positions, man.
Come on, Kolsky. What the hell, man? It's a Friday night. It's late night in the studio. Come on.
I think if you track where I've been at all year, I've been higher on the Warriors than almost anybody the whole way through, right? I still believe they have a chance. And and actually the more I watch, I think it would be very fair to say, or to even make them a favorite outside of the Thunder in the West, right? To say, you know what, right now, the way they're playing, I like their chances second best. But, like, first of all, the Thunder are 64-13. So, like, they probably have a 20-2 stretch this year, and that's
And those two losses were both to the Warriors.
And that's why I do really give the Warriors a legitimate chance, right? Like, you're talking about a lot of reasons why this team is exciting, why this team has a legitimate shot at it, things we wouldn't have said a few months ago, and things that, listen, man,
they're hot at the right time.
They're hot at the right time, but also, like, if I had given you odds on Steph Curry winning another title before he retires a couple months ago, I think we all would have agreed it was super unlikely, right? And all of a sudden, it feels really well within a set of reasonable possibilities, And just that, to me, is the exciting thing. That rejuvenation of what looked like sort of the beginning of a sad end, right? Now there's this new beginning that opens things up. And, I don't mean to rain on your parade. It's exciting, and I think they've got a real shot at it. But no, they are not the favorites.
This thing was so dead in December, man. This thing was so dead. Like, it was cooked. It was cooked. I got Devone on the show. I got him clipped saying, get out the TNT, blow up the entire thing. We'll pull that and put it in the intro monologue if the Warriors are somehow able to get out of the West. But that's another problem for another day. I want to talk some Steph Curry. We've already talked the Warriors' mini Manu, which is Brandin Podziemski. Manu Ginobili, one of my favorite players of all time. And Pods, just tell me I'm wrong, saying he has that whatever it is to his game, that craftiness that Manu brought and was just so damn good for so long. It's a poor man's, but
yeah, I don't know if that's. I mean, I see why you make the comparison.
I make it because it's his favorite player, and he said that's the most tape he watched growing up. Manu was his guy, and you can kind of see it.
Yeah, you can see it, but he's just such a different physical presence than Manu.
Manu was a big guy, yeah.
Well, Manu was taller, but he was also lankier. He had like a slithery way about him, especially in the lane around the basket. Pods is kind of like, I don't know quite who to compare him to. He's strong, though, and he's tough. He's like a gritty. He has elements of Ginobili, certainly, to his game. I don't know that he'll ever be that electric offensively. But look, if he can knock down threes, get to a viable mid-range, and he's got a pretty solid, float, layup, finish game around the rim, I don't know what else you want from a guy offensively. Like, is he going to be an all-star? I'm not sure I would bet on it, but it's certainly possible. And I think what he is going to be for sure is a worthwhile, if not starter, six-man level player in the NBA for a decade, and getting that in the second half of the first round is nice. I don't think the best version of Pods is like a 27 a game scorer. I think the best version of Pods is probably like
Ginobili numbers.
Maybe even better, though, because Ginobili never played as much as you wanted him to. But like, I could see like 28 and 6, frankly, with the way he rebounds. He's something. He's something else. And they're getting rewarded now for sticking with him.
Yeah.
at the beginning of the season when his jumper was trash.
Let's talk about the players for the Warriors that are going to have statues in this arena, outside of this arena in Thrive City someday. It's Draymond Green and his defense. It's Steph Curry and just everything, even the defense in today's game. That's coming up on Locked On Dubs.
And most importantly, he a dog.
We need more dogs.
Daylight savings has snuck up on us again. It happens from time to time. And fortunately for you, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means there's more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through, whether you're staying up late after work, whether you're going out with your buddies. There's extra sunshine too. So you may as well bring a little 5 Hour Energy for your hike when you're down at Fort Funston with the pooches, whatever it may be. 5 Hour Energy is there for you. My favorite flavor, Tropical Burst. It gives me a quick boost. Whether I'm at a game, whether I'm traveling, 5 Hour Energy is easy to grab and keeps me refreshed. Head to 5hourenergy.com where you'll find over 15 flavors, including watermelon, blue raspberry, peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack, and it's delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. Today's episode is also brought to you by WayFair. If you haven't heard about WayFair, well, now's the time. With spring here, it's home project season. Whether you're refreshing just a room or tackling a full renovation, WayFair is the best kept secret for all things home improvement. From small updates like cabinet hardware to major upgrades like new vanities, sinks, or outdoor lighting, WayFair has quality products for every budget. Upgrade your kitchen. Get the fast and free shipping. They have top brands at great prices, and the shopping is seamless. WayFair makes home improvement easy. Get started now at wayfair.com. That's WayFair, WayFair.com. WayFair, every style, every home.
Forget that. We champs. Why you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
Steph Curry, 4 championships, looking for 5. I mean, I do this every show when we come back from a break and talk about the casual 36 points that Steph Curry scores in a given game. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and say, what more do you want me to say? I mean, at this point, he is feeling it right now, feeling it. And he had the steal at the end of the game to force turnover 24. He was getting fouled. He was knocking down buckets while he was getting fouled. Did not see a night-night. Had a few chances for the night-night at the end, but essentially gave it a night-night with his celebration after he had the 12-footer and got hammered on the play. He's so good, man. He's so good. Like, the defense has changed this entire thing since Jimmy Butler has entered the fold. The Warriors are the number 2 team defense in the NBA, and they were pretty good before Butler got there. That was always going to be their identity. It's always been partly, and I would say probably their main identity. It slept on a bit, but since this dynasty started, like it's defense first with the Warriors. It truly is. But the other part to this is Steph Curry is just playing much better basketball than he was at a point in the season, and it has been consistent. I mean, you go up and down the box scores, and it's 56, it's 37, it's 36, it's 34, it's 26, which is just a decent night for him at this point. He's upped his average on the season to 26. He's not going to be getting any MVP votes. May get a few, actually, but he's not going to, be in the top 2 in the MVP running. But second half of the season, since the All-Star break, since this trade has gone down, there truly isn't anyone I'd rather have on my team right now than Steph Curry.
He is awesome. I mean, I agree with you. Jokic is also incredible. Tatum's also incredible, right? There's some guys, Shea, obviously, but
He's won it 4 times.
The joy of Steph Curry is unparalleled. He is really something else. And even, I mean, my career in the Bay Area sports media has basically been, time-wise. Success-wise, nothing like Steph Curry. Time-wise, almost exactly mirroring Steph Curry. And I have watched every single basketball game that he's played. It doesn't get old. You know, he's 37 years old, whatever it is, 15, 16 years in the league. And not only does it still make me so happy to watch him play, but he still does something most nights that makes me just, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I have a basketball group chat, as all good NBA fans do, and I was talking about last night's game with them, and someone mentioned that insane, like, sort of hezzy into a floater finger roll move that he had on Luka, where the layup went about 4 feet over the rim before it dropped through. Like, he makes the game beautiful and exciting and fun and joyous, and we're lucky to have him.
He's so automatic around the rim. It's part of his game that we just gloss over because of the threes and the handles and the off the ball movement and just the timely steals that he has. A part of his game that we just gloss over is the fact that when he gets near the rim, doesn't matter if the trees are down there, he finds a way to put it up and in. And they're tough buckets consistently. Like that floater that he has, high over an outstretched hand, up and under, the reverse layups that he has, like all the moves, the craftiness that he brings around the bucket. It's never easy finishes for the most part, unless he just beats his man off the dribble and lays it in, which we actually did see quite a bit of today. But that's one of the most impressive parts of his game. And then today we saw the mid-range a lot, which, I mean, it's not really slept on. You know that he can put in a shot from 12 feet. He can put in a shot from 62 feet. It really doesn't matter. He can just shoot. But sometimes the mid-range game, it gets away from him, right? When he's hunting those threes. And today it was a thing of beauty. He was getting to his spots, and he was, it seemed like every time he wanted to foul, right? He was kind of flailing his legs and arms or whatever. And it didn't affect his shot. He was still making them.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't be surprised at this point. He is. He's a totally different thing than we've ever seen before.
He's the easiest player to talk about and the hardest at the same time, because nothing he does at this point really surprises you. Like it should be shock with anyone else, but when you watch him do it, it's just like, it's Curry.
Yeah. Tonight was a phenomenal showcase in that respect of just the shot making, the way he affects the court from a gravity perspective. It was a real masterclass. Even though I guess it was probably the lowest scoring of these last 3 nights, it was really a special performance. And I was worried when he was questionable. I wondered if he would play. When they slipped at the end of the first quarter, early second quarter, and they were down double digits, I thought, you know what? Tough spot, schedule loss, back-to-back, road home back-to-back on the end of a long road trip. Chalk it up to the game. Just like the effort they all had in them tonight was super impressive to me. And for Steph to continue pouring it on like this, it's awesome. It's awesome. And just don't ever take it for granted, folks.
And you would have given them maybe not a free pass, but the expectation, like we said earlier, the expectation was that the Warriors were not going to have their best game today. I mean, that's a fair assessment, right? You're coming back from a 14-day road trip. You just had this emotional high, this win in LA. Everything says that this is on paper one of your toughest games of the year, going up against just about a fully healthy Denver squad. They just beat you without their stars a couple weeks ago. They've beaten you 9 straight times. That's an element to this. Everything on paper said, like, the Warriors aren't going to win this game. There's a reason why they were underdogs at home with how many games they've won straight, which is now 5, and how many games they've won in their last 18, which is 15. And they just played stifling defense, 25 turnovers they forced, 6 of them from Jokic, 4 from Porter Jr. Porter Jr. was dicing them up with 16 in the first half. They really did a good job on him in the second, as he scored only 7 in the second half. Aaron Gordon had 15 in the game, nowhere near as effective as he was in the shorthanded game a couple weeks ago. Christian Brown, we glossed over him. he did not play in that last game either. It was no Brown, it was no Gordon, and of course, not fully healthy with no Jamal Murray in today's game. But look, that's a good Nuggets team you just took down. Huge victory. Jimmy Butler, 19, had 5 and 5. Draymond Green stat sheet just says 8, 3 and 3. But those two defensively together on the same floor, it's magnificent, man. Draymond Green, I mean, defensive player of the year, we thought he probably cemented it yesterday. I would be stunned if we went on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now and did not see minus 230, minus 240 odds. Like it appears to be kind of a runaway freight train at this point with him and that hardware.
You know, it's interesting. The narrative has certainly gone that way. Voting has changed over the last couple of years, and I don't know exactly how it works now. Like if it was, a bigger voting pool, or like there was, fan or TV voting involved or something, I would feel more confident. I still think there's a few good candidates, and I wouldn't be shocked if, it ends up being Evan Mobley or somebody like that. They love to give it to big men. But anybody who's watching the Warriors every night should know that Draymond Green is as impactful a defender as we have in the NBA. And his defensive play and defensive chemistry with Jimmy Butler has been as big a part of this run as what Steph and Butler have done on offense. And yes, Matthew in the chat, it is a Jay Dilla shirt.
Nice. I like that. I like the fact that Draymond and Jimmy are able to play so aggressive when they're on the floor together. And they've alluded to that. Like they can go after everything, right? They can gamble, they can play aggressive. They know that someone's going to be there on the backside at all times. They essentially have the two quarterbacks on defense kind of navigating, patrolling, making sure everyone's in the right spot, using their voices to be kind of the vocal orchestrators. Every adjective that you want to describe for just orchestrator, facilitator, whatever you want to call it on defense, that's what those two do. And having it together, has there been another time during this dynasty run where there's been Draymond Green times 2 on the floor? Like, I mean, Iggy was
right. I mean, the most obvious comparison is Iguodala, but he was, I think, as old as Jim. Well, he might have been a little younger than Jimmy when he first got here. He wasn't at the level, star-wise, that Jimmy is when he got here, certainly. I would say, though, just in terms of, like, defensive being on a string together, there have been a few. Yeah, Kevin, there's one. Bogut was the first one, right? And that was a younger Draymond. I think Draymond was learning a lot from Andrew Bogut on that first title team. But honestly, man, Looney and Draymond have some of that. KD and Draymond had some of that defensively, because people forget how excellent Durant's defense was when he was a Golden State Warrior. So, I mean, the nature of someone as great as Draymond defensively is that he can develop that chemistry with a lot of different good defenders at different positions, and that's all great. But in terms of both of them having the same level of consistent defensive performance and also IQ, I mean, I feel like you got to go back to like Pippen and Jordan to find that. It's just not normal.
It has been nice. Houston is up next. The Rockets, who have been kind of the antithesis of the Denver Nuggets, right? The Nuggets have just dominated the Warriors over the years. The Houston Rockets have only beaten the Warriors once over the last few years. And that once was this season, but the Warriors have gotten the best of them multiple times, looking to get one more and cement this 5 seed, this 4 seed push, maybe even up to the 3 seed. The Western Conference is crazy. If you haven't been filled in on the details, let's just say it continues to stay crazy. Teams
I
are
mean,
winning. We're going to break it down coming up next.
And most importantly, he a dog.
We need more dogs.
Running a small business means you're wearing a lot of hats. Your personal phone becomes your business phone. And before you know it, you're juggling customer calls all day and night. As your team grows, it becomes impossible to manage everything with just your personal number. And that is where OpenPhone comes in. It's the #1 business phone system designed to help you keep your work and your personal life separate. For just $15 a month, it's the cost of a few lattes. You get complete transparency and visibility into everything happening with your business phone number. OpenPhone works through an app on your phone or computer and integrates it with tools like HubSpot and hundreds of others. It also uses AI-powered call transcripts and summaries, so you'll have a rundown of your calls and action items the second you hang up. And if you miss a call, no problem. Automated messages are sent directly to your customer, ensuring you never miss an opportunity to engage. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That is openphone.com/LockedOnNBA for 20% off 6 months. Openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you have an existing number with another service, OpenPhone will port them over for no extra charge. Let's get back to the show.
Who can stop Steph Curry?
Hopefully we'll never find out.
Unfortunately for the Warriors, the Western Conference race does not get any easier. A 5-game winning streak apparently means nothing when the Minnesota Timberwolves have won 4 in a row and when the Clippers have won a couple in a row. And this is just life right now as a Warriors fan. It's the fact that every single game throughout the rest of the season is going to be a must win, no matter how many games you win in a row. I mean, this stretch was quite possibly, considering the circumstances and the road to home trip in the middle of it, it was quite possibly the hardest stretch of the season. Memphis, LA, Denver, and Houston. And regardless of what happens on Sunday against the Rockets, you're going to finish this stand 3-1 with 2 of the easier teams on the schedule up after Phoenix, that is. And then you finish with the Clippers. And the Suns should be an easy game right now because they've lost 5 in a row. But here's where the Warriors stand. They're a half game back of both the Lakers and the Nuggets for the 4/3 seed. The Warriors aren't going to catch the Rockets. That's finito. It's just not going to happen at this point. They're 4 games back, 4.5 back. So the Rockets are going to get that 2 seed. But when it comes to the 3, the 4, and the 5, it's very possible the Warriors get any of those. They're also only a game up on the Memphis Grizzlies, so the 6 is very possible. The Timberwolves are tied with the Grizzlies, so the 7 is very possible. And you also get the Clippers the last game of the season, and they're just a game and a half back right now and could be a half game back come that point. So it could be the Clippers that take your spot and you fall all the way down to the 8 seed. There's a lot going on in this scenario. But if you win, you're going to be in that 3 spot. Like if the Warriors win out, they are going to be the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. Will they win out? They've struggled against bad teams. You figure Curry's going to get a rest day one of these games, but beat the Houston Rockets. And it seems on paper like the Warriors could win out.
I don't know if he's getting a rest day. Today was the day. You know,
He's just that locked in. He loves basketball that much, Kolsky.
Well, certainly he does, but also no more back-to-backs. You know, you are not leaving the West Coast again. Granted, you still have 2 road games, but it's Phoenix and Portland. You know, you could win out and still not get the 3 seed. And if you lose once, you could end up in the 6. If you lose twice, you could end up in the 8. I think he might be playing the rest of the way. And, you know, will you win out? I would like to think you can at least win the next 4 so that you can decide how important that Clipper game is to you on the last day of the season. But here's the thing about the rest, right? If you avoid the play-in, you get the rest. That's part of the bargain with the play-in format is if you stay 6 or above, you're going to get like a week at the end of the season while all the play-in stuff plays out. And certainly that rest would be more important to me than any one night off the rest of the way.
Warriors non-Steph minutes were big today. Pods obviously had some huge buckets. Jimmy just continues to be that calming presence. But once again, we said it in the opening block, and we'll reiterate it. It's that the team looked tired early. There was a moment there where I truly thought the Warriors may not get run off the floor, but it was just going to be one of those nights where they didn't have it, because everything, the stars had aligned to where it was just going to be a difficult game. With all the basketball the Warriors have been playing and all the traveling they've been doing and getting back to their hometown, thought it'd be difficult. And what do? They turn it on in those non-Steph Curry minutes, and he comes on the floor and just puts together Curry just put together another epic showing. Dub Nation. I mean, place was on fire, man. End of the first half. That's what I want to get to. Last few possessions of the first half, it was Curry, it was Kuminga, it was Podziemski. Curry had the steal in there, almost hit a three that would have legit blown off the roof. It was so loud in there at that point. But then Pods came crashing in, tipped it off a Nuggets player, and the place still went crazy. Warriors fans know good basketball. They appreciate a hard-playing, gritty effort. And that's what that was today, man. Like, the Warriors, you could tell clearly wanted it. And now they have the talent to not only go up, but to hold teams off and to really never go down big, which is what we've seen the large majority of this Butler and Curry relationship. Final thoughts before we call it a night and get ready for Houston.
Sleep well, because, it's not getting a lot easier on Sunday. This is pretty much just as big of a game, if not just as big, 1B. So got to get ready for a very different challenge in the Houston Rockets on Sunday. They're going to want to run with you. They're going to try to beat you with athleticism. It's should be fun.
And the way you've slept walked with some of these non-elite teams in the NBA, you really can't count out the Clippers late. You can't count out the Portland Trailblazers, even the Phoenix Suns. Like, every game for the Warriors is going to be a chance for them to show that they're just consistently good. When Curry and Butler are together, they are consistently good. And if we get that the remainder of this season, I think you got to go into the playoffs. Kolsky's not going to want to hear this, thinking that the Warriors have just as good a shot to win the West as anyone, and that includes the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sleep on that, Kolsky. This is Locked On Warriors. Peace.